Good evening. Good evening. Leon Francis here with Blackbeard Logic. We're a little delayed tonight, but technical difficulties, which is ironic because I am an IT guy. But that being neither here nor there, this is Blackbeard Logic. I am your host, Leon Francis, on the Guns and the 701 Network. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about what I am calling the SNAPDEMIC, the Great Welfare Heist. I want to know how much do you know about the SNAP program? The benefits, where they go, how much are we spending on it? Who's receiving these funds? Are Americans receiving less than illegal immigrants? The answer might surprise you. Second topic of the night, we're going to talk about little Somalia in Minnesota. If you can believe that. It's the invasion that no one voted for. I certainly didn't, and I know many Minnesotans that did not vote for it. So where did these Somalians come from? Where did over 100,000 Somalians, and 100,000 not just in Minneapolis, but throughout the Midwest, where did they come from? Minneapolis is Mogadishu 2.0. I saw videos that did not look like an American city. And I'm going to share those with you. What I want to know is who signed off on that? And why did they sign off on that? If you've been following Minnesota politics, as a matter of fact, if you've been following politics at all, you'll notice a trend. And I think it's a disturbing trend of Muslims and folks who are not American running for positions of power and winning.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
We're going to unpack that tonight. We're also going to talk about Fargo, a city I used to call home, a city that I grew to love. I met my wife in Fargo. I raised my kids in Fargo. My kids went to Shanley and Oak Grove, right there in Fargo. But some years ago, I had to leave because it was getting too dangerous for us to raise our newborn, Eli. And there's a reason for that. The reason, notwithstanding, the response is what gives me, hajina. It gives me pause. It makes me upset. The city residents, even some folks on the city commission, the folks on the city commission have concerns. The citizens have concerns. And the folks that are tasked with the safety of Fargo are poo-pooing those concerns. I want to unpack that. I want to give you some data that shows that even though the folks in power are telling you that you're safer, you absolutely are not. The data, and they will say, the data says that, Fargo is safe, is a safe city, yada, yada, yada. Not even the data supports that. So that feeling that you have, that's like me. Wait a minute, there's another shooting in Fargo? Wait a minute, the police were ambushed in Fargo? Hold on, there was another drive-by in Fargo? Yeah, that's not normal, and that's not safe. And we're going to talk about that tonight on Blackbeard Logic right after this. I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic. Welcome back. I want to take a look at this SNAP, this food assistance program, from three different angles. First angle is as a taxpayer, a legal citizen, a productive taxpayer. How I am and you are working against your own interests and your own family's interests. When you are a productive member of society, you're actually working against your own interests. I'm going to explain that to you. In 2019, we were spending $4.5 billion on SNAP. I think that's what it is. I'm going to check right now. $4.5 billion, December 2019. By December 2022, it had jumped to $11 billion a month. Where did that jump come from? I'll tell you where. Illegal immigrants. That's where it came from. That's the correlation there. It jumped from 4.5 to more than double in 2 years, 3 years, 11 billion a month. So when you do that, when we allowed the Democrats to do that, it's like the law of supply and demand. There's a new artificially subsidized demand. And guess what else happened in that same time frame? Grocery prices went up. By some estimates, food prices go up 1% for every 12% increase in food stamp spending. So in this case, that's like an increase of, it's like a 10% increase in your grocery bill every single month. And what that means is, if you are a working American and you're not on food stamps, it means you're paying against your own will and your own well-being. You're paying for other people's groceries twice. You're paying when the government takes the money out of your paycheck, and you're paying again every time you buy groceries for yourself. That's the Democrats. That's what they did. And now people are calling them on it. And in true Democrat fashion, and I'm going to take just a small aside. Do you remember when Donald Trump, during his first term, he wanted to investigate what Burisma was doing in Ukraine, what Hunter Biden was doing over there, because everyone knew that they had strong-armed the prosecutor over there. They knew it. It was on tape of Biden, bragging about it. Everybody that ran in those circles understood that there was massive fraud going on in Ukraine. And so Donald Trump said, we're going to investigate that. They impeached him over that. Impeached him. So it should come as no surprise that now, during the second Donald Trump term, now we're uncovering massive fraud from all over the place. Like every corner of government is just garbage, fraudulent. And I'm going to say this too. I have a hard time believing that it was all Democrats. I do. I do not believe that the level of fraud and abuse and waste that went on during the Biden administration just was so quiet and so stealthily done that not a single Republican during that time knew about it. I believe we got corrupt guys in our own house. We have corrupt people that knew this was going on. Now we're investigating. And in true liberal fashion, they're throwing a hissy fit over it. So what I just kind of unpacked for you, all of the illegals that are getting SNAP benefits and food assistance and all of the stuff that they're not supposed to be getting, and that the media and the Democrats are telling you, no, they're not getting that. They're lying. How do I know they're lying? Because they're suing the government so the government does not get the data. The government is like, okay, we had this huge increase. I mean, just massive. 4.5 to 11. That's a massive jump. And we already have uncovered massive fraud. So they went to all the states because that's how it's distributed out. And they asked all the states, hey, we need the data. We need to find out who's on these rolls. We need to find out if there's any fraud going on, this, that, and the other thing. All of the Republican states said, sure. 2 Democrat states said, okay. All of the rest of the Democrat states, the Democrat governors are suing. They said, hell no, we're not giving you our data. We're suing you. Don't take my word for it. Listen to this.
Highlighted a slew of aliens are receiving these SNAP benefits. Are there any plans to do the same with SNAP and totally reform it just to ensure that it's available only to U.S. citizens?
You want to?
Yes, in fact, we've already done that. The last administration has just become so bloated, so broken, so dysfunctional, so corrupt that it is astonishing when you dig in. First, I talked about the extraordinary explosion of benefits under the last administration. And what happened was that the money that was going out was zero accountability. So one of the very first things we did when I was sworn in was send a letter to all the states and to remind everyone the SNAP program is administered through the states and the governor's office. So send a letter to all the states saying no more illegal aliens on SNAP, period, full stop. So that's already a rule of this administration. We're working to enforce it every single day. The second thing is we began a very serious investigation into a lot of the fraud and abuse that we kept getting anecdotal stories of that no one was doing anything about. And so just in the last, I think, 6 months, we've had major dozens of arrests, people going to jail, fraudulent activity of 50 million here. One guy's registered for SNAP in 6 different states. I mean, it's one thing after another. So we are taking that extremely, extremely seriously, and we'll continue to do so. And then the third thing on this is that for the first time ever, the USD has asked the states for their data so that we can ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent appropriately. Not surprisingly, all of the red states said, yes, please help us with this. We want to do the right thing. We want to make sure there's not all this corruption and fraud. By the way, 2 blue state-led governors also leaned in, Colorado and North Carolina, alongside every one of the red governors. But the other blue states, California, Oregon, New York, Washington, all of them actually sued us and said, oh no, we're not going to give you any data. So the problem is you have an extremely corrupt program, but up until this administration and with President Trump's direct focus on this and making sure every taxpayer dollar is spent appropriately, we've never really had the opportunity to dig in. So we're going to be talking a lot more about SNAP reform.
And it gets worse, if you can believe that. If you can believe that it gets worse, it absolutely does. Would you believe that the Biden administration gave illegal aliens 40% more food than American citizens on SNAP? Yeah, that's true. During the Biden administration, during that whole border crisis, Democrats gave illegal aliens 40% more for food than they did Americans on SNAP. I believe that the figure was, I want to say,
get approximately
$7.59 per day, per person per day for SNAP for an American citizen. The illegal immigrants were given prepaid migrant cards that gave them access to $12.52 per person per day. Damn near double. Now, you think about the massive influx of illegals that happened under Biden, and you're wondering, why were they coming here in just droves? The caravans never stopped coming. This is why. Democrats were giving these people massive amount of money. Not just the SNAP, not just for food. I mean, they were getting tons of that. There are stories all over the internet about illegals coming in and cashiers looking at the balance when they gave them back the receipt, and there's thousands of dollars on them. Thousands of dollars. Sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. And you ask yourself, like everyone was asking, why would they brave the desert and all of this? What I believe went on there, the Democrats put out the word to their NGOs, and that is the Catholic Charities included, the Lutheran Social Services included. They put out the word that if you got here, and they had these NGOs stationed all over South America to bring these caravans up and through. 20 plus million people. And they told these people, if you make this trek, when you get there, you're going to get in, and we're giving you tons of money and incentives. Of course they came. Of course they came. There are, from what I could find, more than 2 million illegal immigrants that self-deported because they knew that the gravy train was coming to an end. As a matter of fact, there are videos, and I'll play one in just a second, of a guy saying, because of the government shutdown, the SNAP benefits are cut off. He says, I can't stay in this country if we're not getting government assistance. He literally says that. As a matter of fact, let's play that now.
Without the government support, I cannot stay maybe a month or 2 months.
Pima County Chairman Rex Scott told News for Tucson he's deeply concerned about the impact on local refugees. And
what in the wide world of sports is going on here?
That is a damn good question, sir. And we will explore more of the SNAPDEMIC as soon as we return. Blackbeard Logic. Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsor.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Welcome back. Leon Francis, this is Blackbeard Logic, and we're going to give you one more segment of things that are just going to cheese your grits. If you're anything like me, I'm a hardworking father. I'm upset by how much of my hard-earned money, and I am a small business owner, so I see those taxes. I understand the angst of folks who look at what our government is doing and they're a little teed off by all the fraud about how our money is being wasted. I'm a little teed off at people that not only don't appreciate what they have here in America, provided by folks like me and you. Not only are they not grateful for it, they're downright obnoxious about it. They're pretty proud about the fact that they just don't have to work. The Democrats have bred a permanent underclass of folks so dependent on the government that if government was ever rolled back, you would have understandable riots in the street. They want these people dependent because they can use them as cannon fodder for the revolution or whatever. I'm going to play you some video that's going to tee you off, and then I'm going to play you some video because I believe that the media pushes a certain narrative on certain demographics without giving you the full picture. And I'm going to make that clear here. I'm going to piss you off. And then I'm going to show you something that gives me hope and should give you hope also. Check this out.
So I get $3,000 in food stamps. Obviously it's 8 of us, so you do the math. That's why I get $3,000. I have no income, so obviously I'm get the full benefit amount. Does that make you mad too? Does it make you mad that the government is helping me feed my children? Does that make you want to punch me in my face? Does that make you angry? Does that make you shiver in your boots?
Me and dumb people just don't get along, man.
I can't. I can't listen to any more of that. I had a good 10 clips ready to go, but the fatigue is real. And if I listen to any more idiots like that, I will lose my ever-loving mind. So I'm not going to subject you guys to that either. I'm going to leave this segment on an upbeat note because I want you to understand that the demographic that it seems the algorithm is pushing into everybody's social is these idiots that are saying, well, I'm going to go out and rob Walmart, and I'm going to go out and do this, that, and the other thing. But I'm old school black. I tell people this all the time. I'm Southern black. I'm old school black culture. And a lot of the people that I grew up with, a lot of people in my demographic, my age demographic, my ethnic demographic, will just say, think a lot like I do. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. That's why, instead of playing the 10 clips of the idiots, I'm going to play you these instead.
I finally did it. I finally made it make sense. Motherfuckers is threatening to rob Walmart and run out with carts and everything else, but they won't go out and get a job. So I made it make sense. I got it. So you would rather go to jail and get your 3 hots in a cot for free than stand like a man and take care of your family and feed your kids yourself. That's the only sense I can make of it. You'd rather have the 3 hots in a cot than motherfucking the responsibility of taking care of your family. That's all I've heard anybody say. Nobody said, well, damn, I'm going to get up and go get a job. All they've said is I'm going to go rob Walmart or rob Aldi's or rob whatever grocery store they want and take whatever cart of food they want. They can't say nothing about being responsible and taking care of their business. They're just going to go rob, steal, and take from everybody else. And you wonder why motherfuckers hate you motherfuckers. I'm just saying, it's right there. Fuck your feelings. The truth is the truth and facts is facts.
So I'm in Walmart. I don't have any EBT, but them children still gotta eat, and I don't have a whole lot of money. But I'm about to show y'all some meals that I can make at home that can stretch until the next payday. Get you some onions. They $1.24 a pound. Get you a bag of potatoes. They'll go a long way. It's 94.8 cents a pound or $7.58. Like I said, you can make baked potatoes. You can make potato salad. You can make mashed potatoes. Cut them up and fry the potatoes and put those onions in it. Noodles are 98 cents. You can make all kind of pasta, even if you ain't got hamburger meat. Make you some ziti. You can make some chicken pasta. All you need is the noodles, mayonnaise. I use onion, sweet relish, season it up, and either some chicken or some tuna. If you don't have bread, use some crackers. Make some of that cornbread. I'm about to show y'all what I'm about to do. Mayonnaise is really high now. Get some from Dollar Tree. This is $2.98. $2.12. You ain't gotta be name brand. This little sugar right here is $2.12. It's up to you to get sugar. You can use honey if you want to. This is the cheapest one Walmart have. It have yellow cornmeal, but I probably won't get this because it don't say self-rising. Make sure you get the one that say self-rising. Y'all see the cornbread on there? Mm-hmm. Wait a minute now. And if you're making biscuits, get some self-rising flour. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My grandma taught me when I was a little girl, all you need is that and that mayonnaise, because mayonnaise got all the rest of the ingredients in them. Stir it up. Put you some water in that thing. Put it in the oven. You can put your butter in there. You can put the honey on the top. Hot. Make it to your liking and your tasting, baby. Y'all know what else I love to get a lot of because it fills my children's belly and leave them not hungry for a long time? Grits. And these are $2.88 grits. You can get the ones, if you can't cook grits, get the quick 5-minute grits. Get you some grits. I got plenty of grits in my household. They also have oatmeal, but I don't like oatmeal, so I don't give my children nothing I don't like. You don't have to make big old sausages. Make little balls or something. Cook them. Put them in some grits. And they do have turkey sausages. And baby, no need to steal. These turkeys is 97 cents a pound. This turkey right here is $20. You cannot beat that. You talking about making something stretch. You can get one of these babies and feed your family for a whole month. And y'all also can get some biscuits or y'all can make some biscuits. And get you a can of that gravy if you don't know how to make gravy. That's a whole meal itself.
Gonna say it and I don't care who get mad. Shouldn't no grown-ass, able-bodied people be freaking out about no food stamps. If you got 2 legs, 2 arms, you can get up and talk on the phone. You can get up and take your behind to work. I'm talking to able-bodied.
Say this, and I'm gonna say it one time and one time more. A lot of motherfuckers thinking it, but they ain't gonna say it. Listen here, I don't give a fuck about y'all losing y'all food stamps. I'm 25 with no motherfucking kids. I get up at 6 o'clock to go to work, and at the end of the work, I go coach kids. It's just not hard for you motherfuckers out here with kids. It's hard for us too. And no fucking way do I want my hard-earned tax money going towards you and your non-fucking just because you couldn't get off your back and go get a job or tell a motherfucker where to come. So no, I do not give a fuck because you're losing your benefits. Get off your ass, go get a job, do what you gotta do to raise your kids because you had them. I'm not paying for your kids anymore. If you don't care enough to get off your ass and go feed them, why does my tax money have to do it? The using and abusing of the system is over. Because us who can't get SNAP benefits or free medical, tired of getting a free pass and I'm over here busting my ass without no help. You do the same. Sorry you made poor life choices.
I don't respect no man that's able to get up and work and provide for his kids, and he don't do it. A man don't work, he shouldn't eat.
Man, I'd be totally embarrassed if my kids were on EBT. If I found out they were on welfare system, I failed them. I failed them. It's that simple. If I found out they were on EBT, I fucking failed them. It's that simple. If your children are on EBT and they're not blind, crippled, or crazy, you failed them. By the way, my first job at the telephone company, I worked right next to a dude that was blind. This man was blind. He had a dog with him and a cane, the whole 9 yards. But he worked something called TSPS. In other words, you had to type in numbers. So he had a little braille going. So if a blind man could work, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to hear it.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That last guy, I want to look that good when I'm 60 as that guy does. I mean, did you see him? If you're listening to this and you're not watching it, very fit, older African-American male. Just, that's how I want it. I want that mindset, that easygoing attitude, and I want to be as fit as him. Now, having said that, we're going to go to commercial, and we'll come back with what the heck is going on in Minnesota. Blackbeard Logic. We'll be right back right after this.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Visit HortonLasercraft.com today and start crafting your perfect gift. For more info, email them at HortonLasercraft@yahoo.com or call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Welcome back. It's Leon Francis. I am the black-bearded logical guy, Blackbeard Logic, on the Guns of the 701 Network. Coming off that last segment, oh my gosh. I want you, if you go out tomorrow and do any type of shopping, I would advise you to go armed, obviously, and your situational awareness needs to be up here, because I've seen videos of people saying that they're going to wait out in the parking lot, and when folks come out with their bags, snatch their bags, things like that. I wouldn't have thought that could happen in like a Fargo or Jamestown or a Bismarck. But as we're going to unpack in the last segment, these cities aren't as safe as they used to be because Democrats are packing them with dependents. And we're going to unpack that also. Right now, we're going to talk about what Democrats have been doing in Minnesota with the influx of Somalians. Some portions of Minnesota are like mini Mogadishus. And that's not hyperbole, and I'm not overhyping that. from the data that I was able to gather, there have been, over the course of maybe, I want to say 5 to 10 years, over 100,000 plus Somalians planted throughout the Midwest. And you got to ask yourself why. Since the George W. Bush era, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand who signed off on this. I don't understand how Minnesotans got stuck with like over half that number. So you folks in Minnesota, you've got to start holding your elected rep. Well, you won't be able to because these guys are taking over. They have basically imported an entire voter bloc in the urban centers in Minnesota. I'm going to show you some video. And if you are a Minnesotan, I want to know how this makes you feel, because it is concerning to me. Let's play that video.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Somalia. Somalia. Hiran State. Ma'awisle. Ma'awisle. Early voting was hadda illa November 4. I need your vote. I need you. Hadan Udkina, hello. We're gonna win.
What the hell did you just say?
Now, to be clear, this is Omar Fatah. He's waving a foreign flag that looks remarkably like the flag that Minneapolis adopted. But that's neither here nor there, right? But he's waving a foreign flag, speaking a foreign language, pledges his loyalty to a foreign country, to Somalia, and then tells the Somalians there to elect him. This is a rally in Minneapolis. This should be illegal. And it gets worse. There is rampant fraud in the Somali community into the hundreds of millions of dollars. But we're not talking about it. Ilhan Omar herself is wrapped in all kinds of controversy. But we're not talking about that for some reason. In Minnesota, and again, I don't understand why good Minnesotans aren't speaking out about this. There are, like, Somali nonprofits who were receiving hundreds of thousands of taxpayer funds after it's the board of this Somalian company or nonprofit, after its chairman was charged in 2023 for defrauding Medicaid of millions of dollars. They're still right today receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer funds. Don't take my word for it. Here you go.
Use of your tax dollars. 5 investigates found a once celebrated nonprofit received hundreds of thousands of dollars in public money even after its board chair was charged with fraud.
The organization is Kajog. It won awards over the years for the work that it did with Somali kids. But 5 investigates found that its board chair was charged in a massive Medicaid fraud case in 2023. Now, in the last 2 years after those charges were filed, our team discovered that the State Department of Human Services kept sending the nonprofit hundreds of thousands of dollars in state grants. We brought our findings to Republican State Representative Isaac Schultz.
There are hundreds of employees at the Department of Human Services, and they're letting this stuff just fly willy-nilly and not having any level of accountability, and they are certainly absent strong program integrity measures.
And the fraud in the Somali community is staggering. I'm going to show you a couple of articles here. I mean, outside of the fact that no one's really questioning where Ilhan Omar suddenly gets $30 million. I'd like to see those tax returns. But aside from that, the fraud in this one community is absolutely mind-blowing. And it's fraud for housing stabilization services. There are federal fraud charges here in connection with Medicaid fraud in this article here. And this one, Ilhan Omar Stafford pleads guilty in fraud case. Omar paid thousands by restaurant accused of stealing money intended to feed starving children. So, Feeding Our Future received $197 million. Jesus. Again, guys like me are out here scraping our knuckles and, just banging it out, trying to eke out a living for our family. And you have people like this. And our government is complicit.
Smells like government.
They're stealing our hard-earned money, and people like this get it handed to them, apparently. Omar's net worth jumps to as much as $30 million in new disclosure after claiming, I'm not a millionaire. This, DOJ, 47 in Minnesota's Somali community charged with stealing $250 million in COVID-19 funds from child nutrition program. My God, where is all that money going? Is anybody asking? Here's another one. I'm done. I can't. Minnesota. You guys got to wake up. When I come back from this short break, I'm going to break down how we got this number of Somalians in our country, under what presidents, and how many. I'm going to break that down for you. More Blackbeard Logic when we come back.
It's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Now, this cancer has metastasized already from Minneapolis to New York and beyond, like this Somali rally in Ohio, of all places.
To one another. We are all here today uplifting
one another because we believe in Somalia. We believe in unity. That's why we are here today. So to that I say, make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure that you are engaged for the next few months. I will need a lot of volunteers to help me knock doors, to continue to collect signatures, and I will need all of you to reach out to your neighbors and to let.
To be clear, Obama injected this tumor into America's heartland. That was Columbus, Ohio. But when Obama had his plan, and he said this publicly, that they were going to basically inject communities that they believed were too white with a little color, that's exactly what he did. Right into America's heartland. Biden paid for it with our tax dollars. And now it seems to be this unstoppable juggernaut. Now, I'm going to break down the resettlements to Minnesota by presidents. George H.W. Bush, he resettled 500. Clinton was about 10,000. George W. Bush, about 10,000. Obama, about 6,500. Trump, 300. Biden, about 1,300. So the current Somali population in Minnesota is about 63,000 people, according to the 23 census. Family reunification amounts to about 95%, and that's families coming after initial resettlements. Now, by religious charities, the Catholic charities accounted for about between 6,000 and 10,000. They help establish seed communities. Lutheran Social Services, between 5,000 and 8,000. And they set up in non-metro like St. Cloud and Winona. The Catholic charities were more urban. So Lutheran Social Services, non-metro, Catholic charities, metro. Now, my God, you think about what they're doing to this country. They're attempting to change the fabric of America, the cultural makeup of America. And what they've done in places like Dearborn, where the FBI thwarted a terror attack today. And you think about places like Minneapolis and Minnesota and what they've done there. You think about what's going on in New York, the financial capital, some would say, of the West. And they're about to put a big old mosque in there, not 20 years after 9/11. They're about to elect Mondami. Think about that. And the bulk of his base are people who are not American citizens by birth. What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, ask yourself that question. I know what we're doing, and they called it a white supremacist. What did they call it? They called it a white supremacist conspiracy theory or something to that effect. When they were talking about a concerted effort to bring in the third world country into Western countries. And they went gangbusters over in Europe and in France, and in those countries, they just got steamrolled. And They slow walked it with us. But with the Biden administration, they fast tracked it. We have to do something about this, or we're not going to recognize. They've already changed the flags in some places. We already have entire communities, entire cities, like Dearborn, Michigan, that are all Muslim. We're going to have a Muslim mayor of New York City. Think about that. Think about the fact that the number one sponsor for terrorism and terrorists at one point when we were fighting in Afghanistan was Minneapolis. The number one terror sponsor was Minneapolis. Man, we got to do better than that.
Holy smokes. Another murder in Fargo last night. As a commissioner, how's that make you feel?
At a certain point, they keep telling us that we're a safe city, and clearly we're not. And so at a certain point, you start losing your credibility. And so we'll see what happens, but we need a change in leadership.
It's, you can say that crime is down, but even if crime's down, if crime's still high, that's not a good thing. And, it's all about perception. And if the perception is bad, it's not a good thing for the metro area.
Well, the other thing that's happening is now the people don't call the police because they've lost confidence that they'll respond. That does happen now. If you call 911, many times they start asking what the issue is, and then they won't respond. I'm telling you, in 8 months, when you call 911, the next sound you're going to hear is tires screeching in front of your house, because every time there's a 911 call, the police will come and we'll start arresting criminals and putting them in jail instead of what's going on. But right now, we're not even making arrests.
That's one thing I asked Chief Nielsen. I said, when do officers actually show up? He says, Jay, if you call 911, you're in West Fargo resident, I don't care if somebody stole your bicycle. My police officers will show up.
But that's not what happens in Fargo.
That's a damn shame. It really is. And we like to pit cars out in West Fargo.
We're going to be doing that in Fargo as too. It's just takes a little time and a change in leadership, and we'll restore law and order and have a clean and safe town, and things will be back getting on track. But the other thing that's going to happen is, even if Chief Zapolsky is gone, it's going to take us years to recover, because what's happened is the top level of leadership, they've all left. And so even if there's a change, most of them have already found other careers. So they're not coming back to the Fargo Police Department.
No, I know a lot of them. Yeah.
So now to build that back up will take us years. And so that's what's true.
That is City Commissioner Dave Pepcorn speaking with Jay Thomas on WDAY. Now, what's concerning about that is we have been told by this police chief, Zabowski, or Zabinski, I forget how to pronounce the man's name, and I'm not doing that tongue in cheek. I literally just had a brain fart, so my apologies for that. The police chief. We've been told by him that Fargo is relatively safe, but the crime data says something entirely different. We, the citizens, don't feel safer. And even our city leaders have concerns. Now, I'm looking at citydata.com, and I'm looking at the crime rate in Fargo, North Dakota. And what it tells me, and sorry, I bumped my mic there. What it tells me is that, well, the closest I could come was last year. So right off the bat, it's last year's data. But last year, our crime was higher than 92.7% of U.S. cities of comparable size. I think that is astounding. It was 1.6 times greater than the U.S. average. And if you look at this first slide here, where Fargo sits compared to the nearest cities, I don't know what's going on in Dilworth, but apparently they're having issues also. But if you look at West Fargo, they're like half, less than half. And if you look at the citydata.com crime index here, you can see the U.S. average in green here, Fargo in purple, and you can see there is a massive discrepancy there. We are not safe. We haven't been safe since, if you look over here at 2007, we're in pretty good shape. But this is not safe. That's not safe. If you look at this slide, it shows the violent crime rate in last year was well above the U.S. average, as was property crime, well above the U.S. average. 2023, the same thing, well above the U.S. average for violent crime and property crime. 22, 21. And this police chief has been here for 5 years. And if you look at 2020, we are above, but not by as big a margin. It has been steadily ticking up since we've had this police chief. There's a problem there. There's a problem. And it would be ignorant to ignore that. And I listen to our mayor kind of play footsies with this guy. And I want to ask Fargo residents, do you feel safe? I have friends that ask me about going into Fargo, and because the downtown is revamped, and I'm like, no, I don't need the headache. I'm not coming to Fargo unless I'm armed, and I just don't need that headache. I can enjoy the country life and be safe rather than go to Fargo and it's a maybe. Didn't used to be that way. And it's concerning because Dave Pepcorn is right. They've had massive turnover there. The good guys all left, basically, is what happened. All the good guys that could right this ship, they left. They have other jobs, other careers. So even when we get rid of this guy, and I pray that it's soon, even when we get rid of this guy, you still have the loony left city council to deal with. And you also have to rebuild that team. And that's not going to be a short or easy process, especially when you have the folks that are sitting on that city commission. When you have those guys in charge of picking leadership, you've got a problem. You have got a problem. Most of the people there supported BLM.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Supported folks that defrauded hard-working citizens out of billions of dollars. They supported them. They supported BLM, the people that gave us the summer of love in which they burned down American cities, murdered American citizens, rioted in American cities. And you had this police chief, you had members of the city council, you had Mayor Mahoney, all supporting them. You got problems in Fargo. You guys probably should make a little noise about that. And I'll be honest with you, the idiot that made that comment about Charlie Kirk And they didn't do anything about that. You are not welcome there, is what they're saying. So, I mean, God bless you. If you live in Fargo, stay safe. Make yourself safe. Make yourself aware. But know that as long as you guys have that type of leadership, Fargo will never be the city it was, ever. And that's sad. Unbelievably so. Anyway, I think I've ranted enough. I'm going to put this one in the can. Awesome hanging out with you guys. I'm Leon Francis. This is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'm going to sign out. I want you guys to be safe, to stay safe, and especially in the coming days and weeks, keep your head on a swivel. Keep your situational awareness high. And make sure you got your neighbor's six. Make sure you got your own, but make sure you got your neighbor's six. Because, again, your city leaders, especially if you're in Fargo, do not have your best interest at heart. That's all I'm going to say about that. You guys be good. God bless. Good night. If you like this content, Blackbeard Logic, you should try some of our other content on the Guns and the 701 Network, powered by Lauer Auto in Bismarck, North Dakota. Please subscribe to the channel, share with fellow patriots, and watch Guns and the 701 every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Central Time. Also check out our iHeart app. And then check me out, Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Friday night at 6 p.m. Central Time.